Hello. It's the Happy Healthcare Professionals live show. I hope that you are well wherever you are watching from. We're live on LinkedIn, we're live on YouTube, and also in the Facebook community, the Pharmacy Freedom Method community. Wherever you're joining from, do say hi if you're joining me live. We've had a bit of a break on this show. I took a bit of a break over August, spent some time with my family and the kids. It was school holidays, and it really gave me the chance to kind of reflect over this show. I've been running the show now for almost 6 months, well over 6 months. And it gave me the chance to kind of reflect and kind of regroup and really think about what it was I wanted to share with you guys on this show. And so over the next few weeks, we have got some really interesting interviews that I'm going to be doing with some fantastic colleagues. I'm going to be sharing a little bit later on about an event that I'm going to be running in a few weeks' time as well. But today's show is all about LinkedIn tips for pharmacy professionals. Now, before I go into that, if you don't know who I am, let me introduce myself. My name is Kamal. I'm a former national level pharmacist turned career coach and business strategist for pharmacy professionals. I absolutely love helping pharmacy professionals to create careers and roles that they absolutely love, and to support them in doing that, so that they can create an impact on others and impact on patients and their communities and grow that impact too. So I am really excited about being back on this show and sharing everything that I have to share with you guys. Today's session is almost like a little mini coaching session, and it's a bit of a training on how to kind of really effectively use LinkedIn. I have been running LinkedIn training for the last few months, and it's been so eye-opening for the people that have attended my training. And I wanted to give you some of the tips that I share in my training with you, so that you can start to think about how you're using LinkedIn and whether you're using it effectively. And there are so many misconceptions about LinkedIn, because I have to say, when I first started using LinkedIn, I actually thought that it was just somewhere that I could just plonk my CV, like it's somewhere else to put your CV, and people just get to see it. And it's just grown into so much more than that. And I think often as healthcare professionals, we kind of think, is LinkedIn really the place for me? Is that somewhere that I need to be? You might even be thinking, well, maybe LinkedIn's just like the place for like the big guns, the CEOs and the owners of businesses and things. And it's really not. It's so much more than that. So in today's live, I want to give you a flavor of some of the things that I want you to think about when it comes to your LinkedIn and how you're using it in your LinkedIn profile. So the very first thing that we have to think about is that LinkedIn, it is actually a social platform. It's a way in which we can engage with other professionals. It is obviously a professional-based platform, but it is a social platform. And always have that in the back of your mind when you're going onto LinkedIn, because just like the other social platforms, it's designed for us to be able to interact and engage with people within our network. So the very first thing I want you to think about when it comes to your LinkedIn is, what is it you want to achieve out of LinkedIn? And sometimes we can get really bogged down with this question, because we're like, well, I want to increase my network. I want to get a new job. Maybe I want to, share my CV perhaps. And you might want to do all of the above, right? But I want you to really drill down into, who do you want to connect with when it comes to your network? Who are the people that you want to interact with when it comes to building your network? What is it that you want to showcase about yourself on your LinkedIn profile? What is it you want to show others that you are capable of doing through your LinkedIn profile? And the other thing and I want you to also think about, that LinkedIn is actually a learning platform. It's got so many courses on there as well that people can undertake and upskill through the platform. So LinkedIn, I was looking today, and there's like over 55,000 pharmacists, people who have got the name pharmacist somewhere in their title or somewhere in their job description, on the platform, that are UK based, which is massive, right? If you're a pharmacist listening to this and you're thinking, wow, that's a lot of pharmacists that I could potentially connect with, you're right, that is. It's a really, really big platform. And then, of course, if you widen that out and you start connecting with pharmacists across the globe, then those numbers rack up pretty quickly, right? So it is where almost every single person that you could possibly connect with when it comes to your career and, the potential within your career is there. They are there on LinkedIn. And the other thing I really want you to think about is that this is a fact that a lot of us are completely unaware of. If you today went and Googled your name, I can guarantee you that LinkedIn will be one of the top search results that will come up under your name. If you go and you Google Kamal George, you'll find that LinkedIn is one of the top searches that will come up for me. And so you have to understand the power that your profile actually has. If you don't have a website, or perhaps you don't even have other social media, or maybe you have some social media, but you're not really using that much, then if anybody Googles your name, it's likely that your LinkedIn profile is going to be one of the top search results that they're going to come across. And so with that in mind, you really want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is showcasing you, which brings me on to the profile itself. Now, if you have any questions about this, do drop them in the comments so that I can see them. And if you're watching on the Facebook group, then I won't see your name. So you're going to have to tell me what your name is when you drop it in the comments. So let me just recap. The LinkedIn profile is one of the top search results if somebody were to search for your name on the internet, on a Google search. And with that in mind, you really want your LinkedIn profile to sing who you are. And this feels really, really uncomfortable to a lot of us as pharmacists or pharmacy professionals. We really do not like talking about ourselves. And we have got to get over this for ourselves, because if we really want to showcase what it is that we can do and how we can help people, we are going to have to showcase that through our LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to share with you 5 tips, 5 areas of your LinkedIn profile that you really should be focusing on. Okay. So the first one, and these are all the tips that I share in my in-depth LinkedIn training that I run. But the very first one is your profile picture. Have a profile picture that is showing your, head. It's a headshot, and it's showing you in a good light. And it's a photo that you like of yourself. It doesn't have to be professional in any way, but it's a photo that you like of yourself. And make sure that when you put it on your profile, that it's actually visible to everyone. When you go onto your LinkedIn profile, you will be able to choose whether the profile picture is visible to the public or whether it's only visible to your connections. And you want to make it visible to the public. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want people to be able to connect with you. And if they don't see a profile picture, it's always that much of a barrier for them to connect with you. So that's the number 1 tip. Make sure that you've got a really nice profile picture of yourself and it shows you in a really nice light and it's visible to everyone. So that's your tip number 1. Tip number 2 is make sure that you have got a headline that talks about who you are and what you can do. So your headline, which is a little line that comes underneath your name when you go onto your profile, you want to make sure that that is really absolutely crystal clear to anybody coming across you, who you are and what you do. Are you a leader in a healthcare startup, for example? Are you a specialist clinical pharmacist in oncology? Make sure that it's really, really clear what it is that you can do and you do. And, talk about things that you are passionate about. And this really comes back to that question of what is it that you want to get out of LinkedIn, and what parts of you do you want to celebrate on LinkedIn? So try to bring those into your headline. So that's number 2. So number 1 is your profile picture. Number 2 is your headline. And number 3 is the about me section. Now, most of the time when somebody comes across your profile and they see your profile picture and they see your headline, the very next thing that they're going to do is they're going to come across your about me section. The about me section is like I like to describe it as like a personal statement almost. And it's one that that really needs to talk about who you are, what you do, how you help people, and how people can get in touch with you. Because remember, going back to the fact that this is a social platform, you want to be able to connect with people. You want to be able to collaborate with those people. Depending on what it is that you want to achieve through being on LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you want to make it really easy for people to be able to contact you. So through your about section, you want to be able to showcase who you are, what it is that you can achieve for them, and how you can help them, and also how they can get in touch with you. And a little extra tip there is put your email address in there, because then it just makes it so much more easier for somebody to be able to contact you directly. So that's the third section of your profile that you really need to focus on. You've got your profile picture, you've got your headline, and you've got your about me section. The fourth section that you need to really focus on is when it comes to your actual CV part, so to speak, the experiences section. I really want you to think about not just dumping your job description on the roles that you've undertaken. Say more than that. Talk about the things that you've been able to achieve through each and every role that you've undertaken. So if you were a manager and you had to oversee a whole department that was, perhaps you were working in a pharmacy, you're a pharmacy manager and you were overseeing that pharmacy, talk about the achievements that you actually had in that role. Talk about how you were able to increase perhaps prescription volumes. Talk about how you were able to change the operations of the pharmacy. Talk about how you perhaps looked at streamlining activities in the pharmacy. Talk about the tangible achievements that you have been able to do and achieve through those roles that you have undertaken, and make sure that those things are showcased. Because when someone comes across your profile, they want to get to know you. And one of the best ways that they can get to know you is by you sharing the things that you have been able to achieve. So that's what I would say about your experiences section. Don't just dump your job description on there. Make sure that for every single role that you're actually showcasing the things that you've been able to achieve in each role. So that's my fourth tip. My fifth and final tip, which is a really, really important one, and it goes back to this concept of LinkedIn being a social platform, is post and engage. And I know a lot of us feel very uncomfortable about this, because I see a lot of my colleagues simply going on to LinkedIn and never really interacting. And they're looking at what's going on LinkedIn, but they're never really engaging with people. And it's so important to engage with your network, to engage with people within the platform. So connect with people, and don't be afraid to connect, because that's the whole point of LinkedIn. We're there to grow our networks and we're there to grow our connections. So connect with people. Connect with the people that you find interesting. Connect with those people that you would wish to follow. Connect with companies that you wish to follow, organizations that you wish to follow. Connect with individuals that you find interesting, connect with those people, and also engage in those people's content. And when I say engage, I mean engage by creating and instigating and also keeping up conversations, because that's the way that we have to view LinkedIn. We are simply using it as a networking platform to be able to connect and collaborate with other individuals. And if you're looking for a new role or you're looking for a new direction, then one of the best ways that people can actually get to know you on LinkedIn is by you engaging with other people's content. So that is my fifth and final tip, which is post and engage. And a slightly additional one there, which is connect with people too. But post and engage. When you post about topics that you feel passionately about. Post about information that you want to share. Perhaps it's in your specialist field that you want to share with others. Perhaps it's an article that you might have written that may have been published in a magazine, or it may have been published in a journal. Share those with your connections and your colleagues, because all the while that you are sharing and you are posting, you are getting to connect with your network, and they're getting to connect with you, and they're learning more about who you are, what's important to you, and what interests you. So I hope that you found that really useful for today. And I'm just going to recap over those tips again. So make sure that you've got a profile picture that is public, that people can see. Make sure that you've got a headline that sings you. Make sure that you've got an about me section where you are talking about who you are, how you can help people, and how people can get in touch with you. And make sure that your experiences section is really talking about the things that you've been able to achieve, rather than the list of tasks that you've undertaken in your role. And the fifth and final one is make sure that you are posting and engaging with your connections content. So I hope you found that useful. Thanks, Anisha. Nice ideas. I'm glad you found those useful. If you watch this on the replay, then drop me a little replay and let me know what was your biggest takeaway from today's live. I'd love to know. Did you learn something that was new that you're going to implement? And which one of those are you going to implement on your LinkedIn profile? And before you go, I just wanted to let you know that I am actually going to be running a dermatology clinic setup training event, which is happening on the 26th of September. It's an in-person event. It's very specifically designed for independent prescribing pharmacists who want to set up private dermatology clinics in the community. And myself and my colleague Sunil are going to be running this event along with our clinical trainer, who is Dr. George Moncrief, who is a specialist dermatology GP, and he's going to be doing all of our clinical training on the day. And if you're interested in attending that, then do reach out to me and I will send you all the details for that. So I hope you found it useful. Natasha says, thank you. This is really helpful. Makes me hopeful. There you go. I've engaged. Yay. Thank you, Natasha, for engaging. Fantastic. And if there's any other tips that you need, or you're stuck on your LinkedIn profile, then feel free to reach out to me and I will be happy to help you. So have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And I will see you back here next week when I'm going to be talking to an American pharmacist who has set up her own community pharmacogenomics company. Amazing. Can't wait for that. Take care. Bye.